'Twas just before Santa came, the story is told. Cattle weren't stirring, facts they's bunch gets a cold. The tack was hung near the chuck wagon with care. Why, we didn't know Santa was close anywhere. Cowboys on the ground were wishing for their beds, while nightmares of wild steers ran through their heads. Between now and the next gather, we needed a nap, and Cookie had just finished and tied down the flap, when out past the cabby there rose such a fuss, I sprang to my feet, leaving the bedroll a muss. And grabbing my shotgun and my ragged old hat, I run toward the racket, thinking, what in thunder's that? When thoughts of amazement through my head courses, it was a buckboard teamed up with draft horses. A driver in red buckskin, so spry and dainty, I knowed in an instant, must be old Sainty. Quicker than jackrabbits them horses they came, and he's shouting commands to each one by name. Get a step, Joe. One more, Prince. On, Big Ed. Pick it up, Sam. Tighten up, Lou. On, Old Ned. Don't spook the cabby. Back away from them pens. You're a-pulling this wagon like a bunch of old hens. Now when I haul on these lines, I mean to stop. Hold up in this cow camp like a ton of cow flop. They sat down in their rigging like I knew they would, with a wagon of goodies made of leather and wood. Then in a twinkling, no further delay, he said, back it up, boys, this here ain't no sleigh. I couldn't believe my ears, and looking around, off that wagon old Santy came with a bound. He was short, and his chinks reached near to his toes. He was happy and fat, with a little red nose. His eyes sort of bloodshot, much like a cherry, from wrastling them horses clean across the prairie. His lips was plumb puckered, his mouth drawn and droll. Mine got that way the day I swallowed my skull. He was holding a piggin string tight in his teeth, not for tie-down, but for tying up a fine wreath. His head was too big, and he had a round belly, no doubt derived from eats his chili. He's chubby and plump, all right, I'd say quite jolly. I laughed plumb out loud when I seen him, by golly. He winked his bloodshot eye and spat between his lips, and it made me to know we were all in the chips. We weren't much for chatter, just done what was due, giving presents and goodies to the whole darn crew. Then he stuck his finger in his wee little ear, wallowed it around and said, we're through being here. He fled to the wagon, and his team called him up. Come on, you old swaybacks, what's the dad-burn hold-up? We won't be back till next year, 'cause we're flat broke. Merry Christmas, my eye. I just busted a spoke.